the flashy player, so he was always got a little bit, you know, people didn't really care for him too much. But then when Simple left, Bondic was the one who you basically took over for that team, and you became the, perhaps not, maybe not a superstar, but their star player.
Yeah,
one of the better players that they have.
And now we're into that super important pistol. It all starts here for FlipSid. If it's going to start anywhere, it needs to be here. And we can see the problem is going to be closing that distance. That's always the kind of deal. Glocks versus USPs, close that distance, use the number advantage. And so it's like figuring out how to do that without losing anyone. And Chris J, he's headhunting right now. He's looking for those FlipSid heads. He's not going to find any, luckily for FlipSid, just yet. And we'll see a defensive smoke there from the CTs. As FlipSid still, they are playing it really passively here. Look where the bomb is. Look how spread out they are. Yeah, and for Mousesports, you know, as you were saying, Dan, before, the B bomb site is a lot easier to retake than A, so you do see Mousesports here coming in with a... Looks like Nexus actually rotating back, taking a gamble. Yeah, so they do have the stack, but he's very close to the A bomb site just in case they decide to push. But yeah, look at here for FlipSid as well. They're so spread out, and the bomb is basically up in mid. It's going to be so... They're not going to have that much time. They do have 3 smokes. So a lot of nades,
actually. They will end up doing an A round here, but it's going to cut it close.
This is really curious how they're going to use these nades. Chris J, he's going to go forwards. Oh no, Blade's going to go down before he can throw his nades. That's a really good play there from Chris J to try to dismantle this push before it can really fully take place. And now, here we go. FlipSid are in onto the bomb site. We get those trades happening. Looking pretty even at the moment, but welded it over the top here. It's going to make the difference. 3 versus 2 in favor of the T's. The bomb finally planted. Dennis denied. And now it's just Nico against 3 with that USP by the stairs. And FlipSid have fallen back to these excellent positions, but that's a nice tap there onto welded it. Looking for Markloff and Bondic now. Will they show themselves to Nico? Here he goes. He might just get a catch here. He's going to be very careful for these bait plays coming in from these T's. And he's going to find Bondic as well, but this is still very difficult. He's going to fake it, looking for the shot. He didn't get it immediately. Oh, is he going to commit for this? He can't. It's such a hard position. Markloff finds the shot. He's going to shut down Nico. And FlipSid, their hearts must have been sinking right there, but they got saved.
Yeah, I mean, World at it with 3 kills there in the beginning, hitting the bomb site. They didn't have that much time to begin with. I do believe we're going to see the triple kill here. And that's actually very smart by a World that, because of the time is so, it's not on their side. He has to actually have to be a little bit aggressive through the smokes, and jumping up on that pillar, getting that one frag, just caused the Mousesports to not be able to actually kill the bomb planner. So the bomb went down, you know, Markloff with a 1-on-1 at the end. You know, it's the start that they needed.
There's no SMGs here, not a single one from FlipSid. What do you make of that?
On a map like Overpass, when you have a lot of long duels, then I would probably say that, yeah, it's good to have like 1 or 2 rifles, but I would still prefer some SMGs. Especially now, because Mousesports are actually playing this smart, whereas they don't full buy, because they know that they're in the lead. They don't really need to take that gamble. Just make sure you save and make sure you get that up on Chris J if he wants one, but just to make sure that you have all the nades you need on the 3rd round.
Yeah, it's they are starting to gain some position. They did take down Chris J on A long. That could have been quite scary. And the Deagles are really scary because they are pretty good at long ranges, especially since the last update. Those hitboxes are a little bit more easy to find. And it's played now. Excellent flash there into the play onto Nex. And the A-bomb site is the property of FlipSid. They can put their flag in there. And Blaze just holding for his teammates. They warded it with a safe plant. Bondic, or actually no, Copy was actually in position, and we have the push at the same time. The distraction plays coming in do actually cause some damage here for FlipSid, but they are still going to win the round with only two losses. So 5-12, making that climb, making the grind, but it is a long way to go.
Yeah, not too bad. It's a shame that Dapcast actually didn't get to pick up the AK that went down for FlipSid. I'm not sure if we're going to see. I think it's a technical pause once more. But again, we do have World that's disconnected from the game. But again, when you do have this, the technical issue as well. Again, you know, it's basically like a free timeout for both teams essentially. Now maybe Mousesports, they do have a good idea. It's not like they've actually lost that many rounds on the seat side. They actually didn't even have weapons yet. So for them, it's all about, you know, just staying calm, make sure that, you know, these pauses and stuff doesn't get to you, and just play it safe, because you have so many more rounds to work with, especially on seat side on Overpass.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see if they can actually convert here, because the CT economy can be kind of a very delicate thing. We saw that, you know, FlipSid, they were on the bad end of that. You can get really screwed over, especially in these best of ones. Sometimes if you lose too many pistols, or you just get lose that round where you had a close one before, your economy gets reset. There's any number of things that can really mess with what your options and how you can play. So FlipSid they really didn't look great there, but that said as well, they didn't get an opportunity to have a lot of momentum or to shine really. So this is really their moment. And Mousesports, I would be very afraid because if I was FlipSid, because I feel like Mousesports with Nico, with Next, they have this potential to do a lot of crazy stuff and to really throw you off your game, especially if you're a very regimented team, as FlipSid do try to be.
Yeah, completely. And for this specific round for FlipSid as well, when you have the AKs and stuff that they played with, when they end up having 2 guys that actually end up dying, because sure, maybe on the second round they didn't know that Mousesports, if they were to buy or if they weren't, if they were just completely safe. For the 2 players now, just buy SMGs anyway, and just basically just be the first one in the line basically, and just try and pick up some easy kills, just get some more money in your bank, and then for the upcoming round.
Absolutely. I mean, do you see any players for Mousesports being particularly key on the CT side to really stop FlipSid from playing the game that they want? Because one of FlipSid's good things is that they're very well coordinated on their T sides. Like, they're very good at firing from one side and then simultaneously firing from the other side. So you get that perfect distraction to just completely blow up defenses. Do you think from Mousesports is going to be helpful in just disrupting FlipSid's T side?
Well, one thing on the seat side on overpass, I would love to see an op on Chris J, because he can just basically lock down an angle, and then you can have players like Next and Nico, especially Nico, to play more aggressive if he wants to. Have some help by one of the teammates, and just be sure that you take some control over the area, or map control. Maybe on B, maybe on A. It doesn't really matter. That's one thing that FlipSid actually didn't do on their seat side, was that they didn't really take any map control. So if Mousesports have that idea where, okay, well, Nico, I'm going to help you take over B, for example. I'll throw you a smoke, I'll throw you a flash. Just take it over. If you don't see anyone, great, then we can fall back. But at least we show some presence.
Yeah, because you were actually mentioning this, the flanking thing, being able to take some space with the CT, just understanding when to take that risk of going for the flank, because it can just win you around if you pick that risk in the right moment. And I do feel like Mousesports, do have these tools to push A long, or maybe to go for that monster push when you spot maybe when you get that feeling that there's a lot, maybe the team is absent from those areas, to try to exploit that. And this map, that's one of the reasons why this map is so interesting, actually, because you can do a lot, for example, with pushing the A side of the map, and not only just general aggression, but getting that information to then allow you to not just sit still as the CTs and just kind of wait and be reactive, and okay, wait for them, but you can be proactive on this map.
Yeah, and again, I was saying the same about when FlipSid was CT, just having a triple stack in the bathroom in mid area. You double boost one by the window, and then you have one in the bathroom just holding long, and they're just somewhat aggressive, and then you get the entry, or maybe even 2, and then you can fall back. Sure, the guy at the long bathroom, maybe he ends up falling, but you should at least get a payout for it. You should at least get 2.
One thing I don't want to see from Mousesports is just playing too passively, giving up map control. Yeah. That's one thing I don't want to see. But we'll have to see how they approach things. We are into a bit of a save from them. Of course, one more until they can actually get the buy-in, and we start to see the real CS, the real CT side of overpass from Mousesports. But for now, it's just about FlipSid and just us looking at how they handle these rounds, which should be for free. That's how this should be. They shouldn't lose too many players. This should be the round where they can build that money.
Yeah, and this should also be a round where you don't want to take a gamble for FlipSid. So you really want to make sure that you play at least, you stick as a team, basically. Always make sure you have a buddy to help you if they decide to push. So for example, the Avcast. So they are playing this pretty decent now, I'd say, for FlipSid. For the people that actually work in the bomb, or the area is played and world edits, and they just try to help each other out. You see it on the minimap, where it's only having 2, and then Bondic, Markelov, and Avcast, they're just basically just holding for a push.
And Chris J, he's being super dirty in the connector area there. We just saw with that taser, man. Oh no, it is Markelov. Is he going to get tased? Chris J's going for it. Oh, he did actually hit by the taser. Yeah, he hit him. He actually hit him with a taser. 25 HP for him. So Markelov's going to take down Chris J. That's scary. Yeah, imagine seeing that guy running at you. Yeah. That's like a...
Markelov is a tank, though.
He is.
He eats that taser.
He just eats it up. And we've got Wodded actually pushing A long right now, so... Looks like he's going to spot that, hey, there's nobody towards A. This is a really good news if you're the T side. Really talked about how it can be hard to retake this bomb site. You can plant where we just saw there behind the container, fall back to toilets if you want. Or, as we're seeing Wodded go forwards, he's going to take control of the bank. The bank is now under Wodded's control. And Mousesports unlikely to get too much damage out of this at this point, but there is a cheeky frag, and what it is pretty low. Markov, of course, still on 25 points of health. Dennis is lurking around. Nico's picked himself up an AK, and he's running with that. You know, he knows that that is a win, just getting that to safety, and he should be able to do so successfully.
Yeah, you know, it's basically Nico saves 2.7k basically just by keeping the AK. So overall for FlipSid, they ended up just losing one member, so it's not a bad equal at all. But yeah, now this is the point of time where it's going to be exciting to see what Mousesports actually decides to do here.
And now we have the AWP on Chris J. Now, where's it going to go? We're going to see him towards B. Is he going to go for the A picks? There's a lot to do on this map, actually, with the AWPs on the CT side. But WOD's got one as well, so you'd expect him to be looking for those picks. With WOD having one, it does suggest to me that they're going for a bit of a slower style.
Yeah, which is completely fine, especially, you know, for the first weapon round. You want to make sure that, you know, you don't do anything fast, because you want to try to get a feel for what does Mousesports want to do here, you know, especially on the first weapon round, because there's always going to be like one of those cases where, okay, maybe on the first weapon round we might not go aggressive. We're just going to see, you know, what kind of default they have, or they might just go aggressive just to, you know, catch the T's off guard. So this is a very nice and passive play coming from FlipSid, just making sure that they have all the grounds covered.
And you can see Chris J. Is he going to get lucky here? Looks like he won't be challenged just yet, but there's the flash over the top. It's not good. WOD it will go down, and there is the first frag, first blood drawn by the AWP of Chris J. And now Mousesports can be a little bit more comfortable playing passively if they want, sit on the advantage, or alternatively, you can see that they're still looking for some information towards toilets. Davkos is going to flash it over the top here. This could be really good if somebody's smoke. Sorry. It could be quite cool if you get those pop flashes in to allow the players to peek from short. Nico's close here, has to be careful not to get sandwiched. He's going to peek onto Davkos, he's going to go down. The flames will hurt Nico's reposition, but he's still going to find some angles to spray through onto the smoke. So Nico doing a good job holding it down at the moment. There's the second kill onto Bondik, but finally Blade will find the angle for the punish. There's the double from him, and that's going to allow Markov in, but he's against 3 players. Catching Nex off guard. It's just Nex to do this, sorry, just Markov to do this against Gob, B, and Chris J. He's going to go down to Gob. Great positioning there in the water, and there's very limited time left as well. So Mousesports managed to hold on. Only three deaths there. It's not too horrendous.
Yeah, and for the first initial frag for Chris J, I was actually going to talk about this scenario as well. Nico gets the first entry there, then he basically just leaves the whole area, just left it completely open. That's why you saw Nico, both Nico and this teammate. I'm not sure who, maybe it was Dennis, just being stuck on the bomb site. And they didn't even know where he got shot from. Bondik had 2 easy kills there. They could have ended up potentially way worse.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting here because, you know, FlipSid could still have an opportunity. They don't have the best buy in the world, but they can, if they win this one, reset. Mousesports will begin to you know, work on just resetting them and get good momentum. That could put them to, you know, close to tying up the game. And so this is an incredibly important round for both teams. Mousesports could secure a pretty strong victory with this one, or allow FlipSid back into the game. Gobby's playing close here by the toilets. He's going to just fall back a little bit, forcing FlipSid to use grenades to buy some positioning.
Yeah, again, very slow and methodical, which is great. I mean, they tried the same thing the last round. It's just the flash that world that I got to challenge Chris J was kind of poor, so he ended up falling. But yeah, this is good. You know, you see on the look at the minimap for FlipSid, they do start to get some map control. Markov's very aggressive in connector. You know, they are starting to get some long control as well and mid control. So.
And here it is. They're starting to test Chris J's his prowess with the AWP. He's going to miss the second shot, actually. Opportunities perhaps here for the T side as FlipSid go in now. We get Trace. Chris J's going in as well. Straight to that toilet position. He's close. He knows that Long is compromised and his teammates are down on the other side. He had to go for it, but he's not going to deliver. It is a big moment right now for FlipSid as they move in. Nico's looking to stop everything, though. Taking down Blade. It's just on welded it now, and it's not going to be enough. Nico's going to clutch it for Mousesports, and what a huge round there. Now FlipSid, they're in a horrible spot. They've got no money. They're on the brink of losing this one, and Mousesports, well, they have got nothing but comfort.
Yeah, the rotation coming from Mousesports was so fast. You saw Nico there. He was extremely, after the push there, that's when you see rotation coming from Mousesports. And then Nico, he didn't really give a damn. As soon as he got to CT spawn, he just ran up the smoke, you know, got the initial kill, leaving it to a one-on-one situation, and ends up winning it. So extremely well-timed rotation there from Mousesports.
In Nico we trust. Pants on head Nico. And we've got the pistols out here. So FlipSid going to be playing for the overtime essentially. Not expecting to do too much in this round. And in they go now. Dennis is going to fall down into the water, but he's got the cover in Nico spraying them down. There's the third one as well from Nico. It's just Markloff left with that pistol. Not much really to do at this point. Bomb is down in the hands of the CTs. And indeed, you know, FlipSid, they didn't expect to win this round, but they were hoping at least to get some damage in and maybe a cheeky bomb plant. That was more or less the idea.
Yeah, and Nico is actually, you know, tied with Next now in terms of kills. He's been chasing those eco frags. He's like, I'm not going to let you have the end of this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's great to see Nico and Next playing well, to be honest. And I mean, Next basically started the match off with an ace. So that it's always pretty good sign when your star player gets the ace right away. Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, do or die for FlipSid. Again, their initial like default strats that they do have, I do like that from FlipSid. They are taking their time. You know, they're not doing anything, you know, that might just cost them an initial entry or whatnot. Just make sure that, you know, you're keeping Mousesports quite defensive and passively. And if they do decide to push, then you should have your grounds covered to potentially get a free kill.
And here we have a more aggressive positioning from Chris J in this situation. And this angle, what could be a bit of an off angle to what FlipSid might expect, could pay off. But what if it's actually going to take down GodB, and that really compromises Chris J's forward position there. And once again, he's deciding he's going to maybe push with this. Actually, he's going back a little bit. He's just holding this kind of middle ground on the A-long. And this is a really great spot right now for FlipSid. They found another kill as well. This aggression from Mousesports really not paying off against the passive opening. And Markloff finds Dennis. One by one, the CTs fall. And FlipSid never say die.
No, but this was exactly what I was talking about when FlipSid, again, it's a good idea for them to just stay passive, just make sure that you have your grounds covered. If Mousesports decide to push, you should actually get like a free kill or two. Now they got 3, so potentially they should never lose this round. They have the whole B bomb side, Next and Chris J. There's really no point in even trying, so they're gonna try and save here in the bathroom. But yeah, great round by FlipSid. And for Mousesports, very sloppy. Sure, you have a lot of rounds to play with. But it shouldn't go to the point where you decide to push, you know, one by one everywhere, right? It's kind of, you know, kind of stupid.
All right, Robin, give me the financial report.
For what?
For the match.
Oh, financial report.
Yeah. What's the money like? You know, what's going on in the monies, the economies,
the money.
Financial report with Robin.
Yeah. Welcome to TV6 News.
Nice.
This is a financial report coming in from Cluj-Napoca Major. No, but for Mousesports, they are actually not in a good situation money-wise, which is why you saw Chris J and Next not even trying to get some exit frags. We will potentially see, unless Chris J and Next could potentially drop 2 Pharmacists and they can still do somewhat of a buy here. I would not advise that, because again, you have 8 more rounds to play with. You don't really need to do anything here. Just save with the 2 weapons you have. If you end up winning the round, great. If you don't, then it's not really a big deal.
Absolutely, and we're going to see big pop-up pump on Dennis. We've got Julie's out on GodB. Nico's rocking the 5-7, so it's going to be an interesting round considering the lowdown of Mousesports as we have GodB with those Julies. Looks very cool indeed, sitting there in the toilets area. It's not really the best range for the dualies against a rifle, so I definitely don't like his chances there. He's just going to spot, get some information, fall back a little bit, find some new positions to toy with his opponents. As systematically FlipSid play that anti kind of force fight situation. Dennis goes down, so that's the shotgun out of the picture, and that makes me very sad.
Yeah, I think I wonder if it was a misbuy from GodB. I think they might have been trying to buy a Deagle or something, especially on this map because there's so many like long range duels. Having the dualies, yeah, you see GodB just hiding, you know, behind the truck. So, and he had an 80, he threw it somewhere. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna get, you know, too much of a payoff with those. It looks fancy and all, but you know, at the end of the day, they're not really gonna do that much damage.
Yeah, he's lurking around the toilets though. What can he find here in the box? Got Markloff there, he's just waiting patiently. And the rest of his team is going to make their way up A-long. And there it is, GodB will be spotted. Didn't have any Kevlar either, so it's a bit of a sad situation there for him. And this should be pretty easy right now. But that said, Nico's going to turn around and drop Blade. You get team kill rewarded it onto Bondic. And, well, looks like things should be all right here now for FlipSid. They're 2 versus 1 here. Chris J actually likes his chances. He's going to go in here, moving into position behind Optimus, pushing forwards with that AWP, going aggressive behind the smoke. They may not expect this. Now he's just dancing around, looking for a quick spot with that jump. There's the first shot. He's going to whip that, give away his position, go for the fake here, try to draw out Davkos, but it's not happening. Chris J realizes that he may have bitten off more than he can chew. He spits it out and falls back.
Yeah, very smart plan coming from FlipSid. Putting it a little bit further away from the box. You saw when Chris J there, because it's a very common spam spot, especially when there's smoke down, that you just plant towards the box. And that was the area he shot at. So he actually could have potentially just ended up killing the bomb planner. But then FlipSid a little bit smarter, you know, planning a little bit further away. Chris J missed the shot and then just, you know, stay hidden, because at the end of the day, he needs to defuse the bomb, and you're in a perfect situation to try and counter that. So Chris J, you know, saved the op, which is great for him. He saved a lot of money for doing so. And for Mousesports, I actually really like this for Mousesports. They're actually saving one more time. Yeah, sure, you do have some armor, you have a deagle or whatever, but they're saving money, so potentially for the next round they will have all, you know, all the nades and everything that they may need.
Yeah, if threat was him, a good throwing threat, he would say, in this situation, you just have to find a solution to get as many buy rounds as physically possible, and when you're just one round away from winning.
Yeah,
and that is lovely to see that they have that approach indeed. And well, FlipSid, you know, they should be able to win this round pretty effectively. Davkost is going to get rushed down there though.